When? I don't know. It's only there though. Okay, guys. Yesterday we learned about testing, software testing.
I think I know this. The AEA6.
Jason, what is alpha testing?
Where they test it, they test their own program, they test their program, like that's sort of like the room they're working in, I guess you could say. So like us, like you get like blocked in the test.
Guys, I know that you know.
No,
Okay, listen. I know that you know, but you need to be able to express.
Yeah, I was still coming better.
Yeah, I need to be able to express your answer and then write down your answer as well. Okay, I will put the poster somewhere. What Super 6? Have you done Super 6?
No, not properly.
Whatever. Okay, right. So you need to be able to write a whole paragraph or a whole sentence, right? When you answer something in HSC. Does that make sense? Jason again. Alpha testing.
It's like you keep it to if you're working with like a company.
Uh-huh.
Keep it in the company. Like
Yep.
yeah.
So that means more like in-house, right?
Yeah.
Within. Yeah. What about beta testing?
Beta testing is how to select you outside people, like users.
Yep. Okay. That means this one is alpha is more like during development. Yes. And beta is after development, but before release the product. That means you get a group of people to do some testing first. Yes, thank you. Ryan, what is black box testing?
Testing to make sure the code runs.
Yeah, and
To see if there are any errors that exist in it. So if anything doesn't work.
No.
No.
That one is more like a white box. Ryan, did you pay attention yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Lachlan, black box. I need a better answer than Ryan. Come on.
So it's testing the code to see if there is an output, if that's what it's intended to do.
I cannot hear you. Speak louder.
It's like testing the code to see if it does what it's like meant to do.
Ah, yes. Jason and Marcus, did you hear that? What did Lachlan just said 5 minutes ago? That is the right answer.
Does the code have the expected output using the expected
Say where we
input?
go
Marcus said it again. Your answer is too general. You need to be specific. Of course, you want to test if the code is working, but you need to be more specific, Marcus. It is the answer, you're right. Okay, but just be more specific. Okay, whatever Lachlan said, that is correct answer. Guys, black box, we want to test the code to make sure that the code will produce the output as the way we expected. When you do 1 plus 1, make sure that the answer is equal to. That is the black box. Just make sure that all the programs work correctly. That's it. But the white box testing, it will be quite different. Yes, Tristan, what is the white box testing? Very good, right? You try to break the program, then you try to make sure that, hey, what if in your calculator, I want to test if I can do A plus B. I want to make sure that your program have some error detection, something like that. Yes? So there are 4 testing that you need to master. Yes, Marcus, you need to know all this. Yep, yep, what?
Just as long as you
A
know
push.
later on, it's really
If the
bad.
code's working.
Okay. And yesterday we talking about the case 2. I mean, sort of like started. Marcus, what is case 2? What case stand for? Good. Good start, mister.
hated.
I
I
like
don't know the
that.
essay. It's like
Yeah.
engineer or something. I don't know what they use. What? Software engineering.
Environment.
Software environment.
Okay, yeah. All right. Guy, Case 2 is like a software to help you to do something, to make your life simple, right? To make your life easy. Okay, that is the Case 2. And last, I'm not sure, is that Friday or Monday that Friday that you take a look at the other Case 2 that are available. Okay. I tell you what,
Win
What
round.
is it bad? Sorry.
this type of question, guys, this type of question, they won't have in HSC. You know why? Because the Case 2 is keep like whatever thing that they have in the textbook, this and that, it will be obsolete. But guys, what does it mean by obsolete? Yeah, that means
Like better programs.
yeah, they may not, people may not use that anymore. There will be always a new Case 2 coming out. So don't worry, whatever thing that in the textbook, it will be too old anyway. So and don't worry about the HSC stuff. So far, I have not seen anything on the Case 2 question. Huh?
It's like how to basic. Yeah, how to basic. Just cuts your hair.
Oh yeah. Because it's too.
It's not tilted.
Watch this video. It's
Huh?
like 12 minutes.
We're not watching
the
it,
walls
it's
of
like-
data.
Your head just not showing. Just like
Yeah, but that was video. This one is live streaming. I don't know. At least I do some testing. Can
Oh,
can,
you actually
can you see me?
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I'm sitting.
So what are
Not
you
your head.
What are you gonna have queued?
This one not the head.
Yeah,
Actually,
not
that'd be a
the-
good idea for PUBG.
Never mind. I do that next time.
That's
Alright.
actually not bad.
And then you can see his keyboard.
Live test data. We're talking about the live test. I mean, we touched on the live test just a little bit. Yesterday, right? Jason, what is the live test?
They do it then. Like, they do it then. In real time.
Yeah.
Real
We just want to make sure that in real time that whatever the program that you created, it can handle whatever the volume of the data, the transaction, make sure it works properly, make sure it can handle all the data detection, okay? For example, you need to make sure that your program or your software, right, can handle a larger file size. Because when Lachlan he write a software for one company, and that company may have different branches, right? So where all the information come in and then it become a bigger or larger file. At the same time, mix of the transaction type, right? Thinking about the checkout at the supermarket, right? There's so many type of transaction going on. When you scan the products, that is the input, right? When you scan, and then when you make a payment or whatever, it also will be different type of transaction. It will be dealing with money. And when you make a payment with credit card or debit card, there will be a transaction that need to link to the bank as well, right? But imagine if we have like a few hundred thousands of terminal at the supermarket, work at different locations and work together, then everything linked into the central. So therefore, it will be quite a mix of transaction type, right? One, okay, when you scan the product, they just scan the barcode nicely. That one is just an input, right? It's just one transaction. But when you're dealing with money and this and that, it will be dealing with the transaction with the bank. Yes? Right, make sure you pay attention. And that live test, okay, live test data for the system testing. You also need to take the response time as well, okay? Or the response time is need to be less, 1 second is, less than 1 second, and 0.1 second is nowadays is preferable. But in 2018, maybe 0.1 second is slow, right? It should be maybe 0.001 second, because everything, I need it now. That's what the customer wants, right? The customer wants things immediately. And minimum hardware. Well, take a look at your iPhone, your iPod. When Steve Jobs came up with the idea that, hey, what if I create a phone without a button? Something like that, okay? Or also minimum hardware, right? So that is the live test. Guys, as long as when we talk about the live test, you can refer to the larger file size and mix of the transaction. You should be okay. You're talking about the volume. You need to do that. Okay. Now, volume of the data. Multiple users. Usually game, right? Right, we know this. If people connect into game server, so they need to make sure that the volume, the server can handle that as well. If we're not talking about the game, right, you also can talk about all those internet banking, because nowadays a lot of people do internet banking. So the banking system need to be able to handle the volume of the data as well. Guys, a few months ago, Virgin Airlines, their servers crashed, and a lot of people at domestic terminal cannot check in. You see, it's bad. It look bad for the company, right? It's the company will have bad reputation if their server is down. And now the customer expectation as well. The customer, they want an easy life. Everything convenient, right? If the server down, then people just easily upset. Okay. No, all these are quite common sense. Of course, you need to comparison of the actual result as well. This one is more like a black box, right? Right. Comparison of the actual expected result. Okay. Benchmarking. Have you heard of this word?
Yeah.
Yes.
Comparison.
Ryan, in your own word, what is benchmark?
You run the software or hardware through.
That's so technical. What about I'm just a layman person? I just want to know the meaning of the word.
You give something a score so you can compare it against everything else that's similar.
Very academic. Okay. Yes, Lachlan. What's benchmark?
No idea.
No idea. Jason?
It's like the minimum requirement.
Yes. 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 Very good. That layman term, right? Minimum requirement. Okay. It's more like, okay, guy, whatever
What
industry,
do you expect?
yeah, whatever industry, they have their own benchmark. That means minimum standard. For example, Microsoft Word need to be able to type and do some just a simple make the file make the font size big or small, this and that, or underline, right? It's a normal standard. Okay, minimum standard is the benchmark, right? Yes, Logan, so you know now? What's that again?
The minimum standard.
Yes. Okay, that is just the meaning of the word. Okay, and then we will talk about the minimum standard of the software before. All right. QA or QC, guys. The thing is that in real life, most of the company we're using the word QC. If QA stands for quality assurance, what QC will be?
Quality control.
Yes, it's quality control, right? And they use a lot in all those manufacturing industry. And now again, of course, quality control is just everywhere, right? When you write the software, of course, you need to meet what benchmark as well. Benchmark is mean minimum. It's sort of like customer expectation, right? If I purchase a software from Lachlan company, I expect that his software will do this, 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 and this, right? So that is benchmark. So, all right, your software. If you create your calculator, is make sure that I can get the correct outcome. If I punch in 1+1, my output need to be 2, right? And at the same time, nowadays, guys, people, we want a convenient life. When you go on Netflix, will you expect Netflix server to be down?
Nope.
Exactly. So, right, reliability. Okay, something like that. Okay.
So it's gonna be serviceable.
And the thing is that the software also need to make our life simple, because we are human being and we are lazy person, majority of us. So we want an easy life. So therefore the software need to be also efficiency. Anyone have the robot to clean the floor, to vacuum the floor at home?
Roomba.
Yeah. I had that in Singapore. Yeah, my apartment in Singapore, we had that. You see, it makes our life. Yeah, guys, Singapore, the technology is far beyond, and
It's so expensive to get like 5 cars as well.
because the country is small, they need to control the car population. In Singapore, they want people to use the public transport. Because from north to south, it's only 45 minutes. Why you need to buy a car? From east to west, also 45 minutes. It is expensive. Car is only for rich people in
It's so
Singapore.
expensive.
You
It's
don't.
like 4 or 5 times.
In Singapore, the car ratio is minimum is about 40,000, and Singapore dollar and Australian dollar is 1 to 1. Yeah, to buy a car, the ratio itself is already expensive.
Yeah, it's the same as the price of the car.
The car ratio there is more expensive than the car itself here in Australia.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, you have to have like a paper first before you even have it.
Yes, you need to buy the ratio first before
Yeah.
you can buy a car.
So,
You're right.
but yeah.
Because they want to control the car population, right? Integrity guide is the security, right? It need to make sure that all the software right now always security. Just like all the phone now, they have what facial recognition. Imagine Lachlan and Ryan, they are twin, right? And if they can do the face recognition, if Ryan can log in into if Ryan can log in into Lachlan phone using Ryan face, that is unacceptable, right? Okay. So it needs to be secure and usability. Whatever the software, right? If you want to make money, of course, ease of use. That's why Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they are so rich. They make it easy for people. They create iPod with just one button. You want to do the volume, you just circle that, something like that. That is innovative, right? Okay. And I think Microsoft Word is sort of like the first software that make people life easy. Before that, they just use a typewriter. Okay. Okay. Maintainability, that means maintainability. Can it be understood? No. Maintain. It should be easy to maintain. Yeah. I think I typed it wrongly. Okay. Flexibility, that means it should be able to modify, right, your software. And testability, make sure it can be tested. Guys, portability. Will your software, let's say Ryan is a good programmer. For some reason, Ryan choose to write this program in Visual Basic. Maybe your generation will never heard of this. I never used this. Visual Basic is anything have anything have this word. Visual Basic or Visual C++. Any languages that have this word, it means it's come from Microsoft, right? Is Microsoft a good friend with Macintosh? They are not a good friend, right? So if Ryan choose to write a program using Visual Basic, his program will work only on Windows. His program will never work on Macintosh or Unix system or Linux system. Yeah? Right. But of course, because now Java changed the whole thing. Because Java, you just write one code and run all OS. When we talk about OS, we talk about the main three OS that we're talking about. Windows, Mac, and what is the last one, Lachlan? Linux or Unix system, right? That's the three OS. We're not talking about Android or whatever. Android, everything is quite new. Google Chrome, they're gonna change to Android soon, which I hate that name.
Wait, what? So we do like,
Huh?
not going to be Chromebook anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna call Android. I don't like it. I prefer Chrome. I prefer Chromebook. Because they want to integrate everything, you see, everything Android now. Oh, bad name, bad marketing strategy. I have been their fan for 6 years now. I've been using my Chromebook for 6 years. I got 3 Chromebooks now. Huh?
I feel like
Chromebook's all online.
Huh?
Chromebook is like all online.
Yeah, all online.
I feel like they want to make
It's in a
like
cloud.
a new thing using the Chrome name, so they want
I
to
think it's
change
just
the Chromebooks to like the Android name.
Yes.
So they can go to
They
a
link
different
everything
site.
now. They link everything together, like
Oh, I think
Android
it's-
book
I think just practice.
to the Android
It's only
phone.
I think it's to
How
practice
they
all
can
muscle
make like a
memory,
new
right?
system.
So you're changing your muscles.
Okay.
The worst thing is the bump on the key.
Guys, your software needs to be reusable. Tristan, how to make your software reusable? Ah, you heard that?
Next subroutines.
Marcus, what did Tristan just said? Make your software reusable. Yeah, make it a subroutine, yeah? Okay.
Keep calling in the function.
Keep your functions or subroutines small. Apart from keep your functions small, what else a good programming practice that we learned yesterday?
Comment on the subroutines.
Good. What else?
We also did.
Okay, Lachlan and Ryan, what else? Yesterday we learned about good programming practice as well, right?
So,
We talk about subroutine now.
Naming.
yeah, good variable names.
Yeah, variable name. What else? One more.
Commenting.
You already said it. One more. One subroutine should do how many tasks? Yes, one subroutine to do only one task. Okay? Now, have you heard of this word?
Yeah.
In programming, we just call interrupt. Guys, interrupt is means whatever thing that you create, it need to work with another software as well. Back in 1994, Macintosh is about bankrupt. And during that time between 1990 to 1993, Microsoft and Apple, they don't really talk to each other, right? Whatever Macintosh have in their software, they just create their own software. Macintosh will have their own word processing. Call something. I don't know. I couldn't remember the name. No. Something. Right. I don't know, guys. It's a long time ago. Macintosh, we have their own word processing. We have their own spreadsheet program, right? So then Windows, they will have their own Microsoft Word and then Microsoft Excel. They don't really talk to each other, right? So if you need to buy a software for Macintosh, you just need to buy from Macintosh. where so that means those two companies, okay, their software are not interrupt until 1994 when Macintosh share price going down, they almost bankrupt, and Steve Jobs go and talk to Bill Gates, ask Bill Gates to buy maybe 10% of the company. Then Bill Gates allowed the software from Microsoft to work on Macintosh as well. So they have a team. Whatever software that create for Windows, they will have another version that create for Macintosh as well, right? So back then, when it was in uni, 1994, I don't have Microsoft Word Mac version. No, we don't have that. All right. So that is quality assurance and quality control. So we done this on Friday, yeah? Yes. Case 2. What is case 2 again?
Right. Have you done it yet? When you lift your hand
Computer
and then put it
aided
back, when you put it back on WASD, you start
Is that software environment or software engineer? Are you sure? Yes. Is that software environment?
So I like scratch my nose or something like I always do. I put my hands back in WASD. So I start moving and I won't go forward and move.
I read that.
No, it's software engineering, yeah.
Really?
I'm getting better. What do I do now?
What's that though?
Case. Dip case.
Case 2.
Hey Ron, what have I been doing recently? Just putting
Oh, yeah, software engineering. You're right. So we done that on Friday. I will skip. Okay, reporting. These are all easy. Okay. Guys, documenting is important, guys. I think most guys our biggest point for programmer is documenting. Most of programmers they love to program, they don't like to do documentation because that is boring and it's quite dry, right? But no choice in real life. You need to do some reporting and do some testing, this and that to make a report. Okay. All right. Your documentation should be developed and retained as a testing process. Okay. And your documentation produced should include all this. The test requirement. Okay, guys. When we talk about test requirement, you need to do the scope of your test as well. For example, Jason, you test on your calculator program, right? You need to have the scope of your testing, right? That means you should test the number when you add like all those number 1 plus 1 need to be equal to, that is scope. And at the same time, you also need to have the scope of what if I want to test the character as well. Okay? And test plan. You need to have a timeline and the tool to be tested. For us, what are the tools that we use when we test our program?
Yeah.
I'll do about 260.
You use Eclipse, right? More like a testing tool. Okay? Yeah, on this timeline we do it. And this in software design we didn't do, because in IPT we do another test plan. What is it called? I couldn't remember the name. Alright. Guy reporting. The documents will include all this, the test data and expected result. Right? And at the same time, let's say, hey, my calculator, when I do 1 plus 1, what is my expected result? It's 2. But what if for some reason I do my calculation wrongly? when I test 1+1, my result gets something else. You need to document that as well, right? It's just like if I have my program and then I declare this one yesterday that we did. Right? Guys, if I have that, what if my expected result, let's say 5 divided by 2, my expected result should be 2.5, right? Okay, but the real test result will be 2. So everything you need to be documenting, okay? Now, guys, when we have the test result, okay, you need to produce a report for your client as well. Guys, in this scenario, we're talking about all those customization software application. It means that we're not talking about all those off-the-shelf products. We're talking more like what time the bill go?
20 minutes.
Oh, we still got, I don't know. I saw him packing. Okay, direct to the client, guys. Okay, the report, right? The language need to be easy to understand. What's my LNG? Language? Yeah. Okay, it need to be non-technical. That means it's easy to understand when you write something for the customer, for your client. Okay, and you need to put the priority on ranking as well. Say, okay, which problem is serious? Which problem is sort of like bearable? Something like that, okay? And you need to do demonstration of your software application to the user as well. In this scenario, we're talking about, let's say Lachlan create a software for one big organization. Maybe he create a software for Qantas, okay? So it's not off-the-shelf software we're talking about here, right? All right. Large community tester, communicator team, the communication should be highlight the problem. Okay, yeah, conflict, ego, professionalism. Let's say Lachlan works for the big company, and sometimes there we have some ego that, hey, as a big company, let's say Lachlan work for IBM. IBM, that's really solid company, right? But what if their programmer wasn't that great, wasn't live up to the standard? What if they have some mistake? And do you think that IBM will produce a test result that have some error and give that to their customer, let's say Qantas? Probably they're not. Probably they just sleep it under the carpet, right? Because sometimes they just have their reputation. So therefore, they probably maybe like spend time in the background try to fix all those problems instead of let the customer know. Otherwise, why is that the Virgin Airline check-in system crash? Just look back on the Virgin, which is the client, the customer, but at the same time, Virgin, they don't build their own software. They might let Lachlan, who work in IBM, to create the software for themselves. Okay, something like that. So the test result is important. So report is important. Okay, after that, guys, after you finish your software development, what you have to do, okay, the last one is to evaluating your software, okay? So that means, okay, after implementation, you need to review your end result as well to see whether or not your product is really live up to your standard.